The April 17th, 2012 meeting of the Monroe County Legislature will now come to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
President Adair.
Here.
Mr. Ansello. Ms. Andrews. Mr. Antelli. Mr. Barker. Mr. Baroff. Ms. Boyce. Mr. Colby. Mr. Daniele. Mrs. Draw. Mr. Esposito. Mr. Gamble. Mr. Gamina. Mr. Haney. Mr. Hanna. Mr. Holland. Ms. Kaylee. Mr. John Lightfoot. Mr. Willie Lightfoot. Mr. McCann. Mr. Michike. Mr. O'Brien. Mr. Patterson. Dr. Quattro. Mr. Rocco. Mr. Tucciarello. Mrs. Valerio. Mr. Wilcox. Mr. Yolovich. Mr. Colby.
Please stay seated. At this time, I'd like to introduce Pastor Byron Smith of the Crossroads Church of God by Faith, who's been invited here tonight by Legislator Willie Joe Lightfoot. It's yours.
May we pray. Most gracious and holy God and Father, creator of all life and the universe, the earth and the sea and everything that dwells therein. You are God. You are Elohim, Elyon, El Shaddai, Yahweh. You who sits on the high and look low. You who stands on the circumference of the world and hold each individual soul in the palm of your hand. We humbly submit ourselves to you as you are, magnanimous and magnificent and preeminent. First, we would like to say thank you for life and for health and for strength. Thank you for the very blood that runs warm in our veins and the activity of our limbs. And as it is written in your holy script, in you we live and we move and we have our very beings. And our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this grand occasion. We thank you for these people who are presently filling this chamber and this body of men and women who make up this county legislature. I ask for your blessings upon them in particular as they come together as you have ordained in your wise providence to do your work in the earth, in this county, as the work they do not only serves themselves, but every man, woman, and precious child of our glorious jurisdiction. Eternal God, I also ask that you would bring to their memories their duties and responsibilities to this community and to this county. I ask that each one of them would remember their sworn oaths and their promises made to their constituents, to their voters, to themselves. I ask in the name and I pray that they would place people above politics and principles above party lines and protection above projects and provision above partisanship, unity above uniform. I pray that you would endow them with wisdom and that decisions won't be contingent on the right wing but the right thing, nor lean to the left but be predicated on no one being left out or left behind. I pray that this chamber would be saturated with character and integrity and probity and rectitude, honesty and plain old truth. Moreover, I ask that their decision-making would be engulfed and enveloped and couched in righteousness, and that your presence will prick their hearts and forgive them for their mistakes as they forgive one another. I pray for divine intervention. I pray for divine interruption, and I pray for a divine strategy for each one of them, name by name, one by one, not only for these, but every one in every town, in every village, in every city under their auspices for all Monroe County. These things and all things we ask in the name that's above every name, your Son, Yeshua Mashiach, Jesus Christus, Isa, Jesus, Jesus the Christ, the only Son of the only living God. Amen.
Pastor Smith. Good job. Congratulations. And on behalf of the county legislature, I'd like to give you that certificate. Okay? Thank you. Legislator Vincent Esposito will now lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Legislator Esposito. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You be seated. You have received a copy of Journal of Day 4, March 13, 2012. Without exception, the journal stands approved as submitted. There's a hearing loop in place tonight to assist those who are hearing impaired. Anyone requiring it should inquire at the clerk's office.
If you have a cellular phone, pager, or other electronic device in your possession, we ask that you silence them for the duration of the meeting, and we thank you for your cooperation.
Legislators' referrals submitted to the legislature for the next committee cycle are all in your folders. At this time, it's with great pleasure that I will introduce Mr. Mark Quinn from the Monroe County Parks Department, who will tell us tonight about the plant of the month. Mark, it's all yours.
Thank you. Good evening. The plant of the month is flowering almond, dwarf flowering almond. It's this pink plant up here. If you look at it, it's very closely related to the cherry. It's in the same genus. It's genus Prunus. It's a somewhat underused plant. Unlike a lot of the plants I've brought in where there's hundreds or even thousands of varieties, if you were to go out and buy a flowering almond, you'll probably get this one. There's probably only about 4 or 5 named varieties out there available, and this is the popular one. Grows to about 5 feet tall, maybe 4 feet wide, likes full sun. It's pretty tolerant of different conditions. It can be grown in a lot of different soil conditions, except it doesn't like to be in wet soil, so you don't want to plant it in a low-lying area. One of the things I'll tell you about it is it's actually a very showy plant. You can see the flowers go almost all the way down to the base, so when it's in bloom, it's just second to none, and it's a relatively underused plant. You don't see an awful lot of them out there. We have some really beautiful ones in Highland Park, some ones that are particularly old. The plant is somewhat wildlife resistant. It's deer resistant and rabbit resistant. If they're really hungry, they'll eat it, but it's not their first choice. From a perspective of taking care of the plant, like a lot of flowering plants, it likes to be pruned right after it blooms. So if you want good blooms like these have, what you do is you wait till after the bloom, and then you prune it back so that the new wood forms and flowers form on the new wood. And that's true with a lot of plants that flower this time of year. So if you've got forsythia that are just going out of bloom, or even lilacs, right after these things bloom is the right time to prune them. And again, another week or two, these will be ready to prune for next year. Again, it's a beautiful plant. They're readily available in the industry. If you were to buy one, it would be probably this variety. It's almost the only one you ever see out there, and it's really, really showy. A double flowering flower on it. It looks very similar to a cherry, and it stays nice, tight, and compact. After it blooms, you really hardly notice it. It just kind of turns green, and it blends back into the landscape. Beautiful plant. Hope you enjoy it. Hope you get to Highland Park to see some of the ones we've got there. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Also, I want to let the legislators know tonight that just before the meeting, Bill, I think he's back there. Bill, hi, Bill. I was handed a gavel. And this gavel, the inscription on it says that this was used by the Board of Supervisors from Monroe County from 1938 to 1958. Did I get that right, Bill? I did. So tonight I have a new gavel. Legislator Quattro's already checked it out. You're okay with it? Okay, very good. So I'm going to use this tonight, I think the first time, but I'm going to use this to bang us out. It's been here before, right? So thank you, Bill. And I would also like to, in the crowd tonight, introduce that we have a supervisor from the town of Wheatland. Linda Dobson is here tonight. Linda, welcome. And I would also like to welcome the 12th grade participation in government class from the School of the Arts, and their teacher, Michael Condello. Mike? They're here tonight, so welcome, everybody. This evening we have several proclamations scheduled. Madam Clerk.
Would representatives from the Mumford Volunteer Fire Department please come forward, along with Supervisor Linda Dobson and President Jeffrey R. Adair. This proclamation is also brought to you this evening by County Executive Maggie Brooks. Whereas on February 24th, 1887, the Mumford Volunteer Fire Department was established. 125 years later, the company continues to serve and protect the residents of Mumford. The first apparatus bought by the fire department was a Rumsey Manufacturing Company hook and ladder model number 1 at a cost of $350. At the 4th of July celebration in 1887, the company received its first alarm. They responded to a structure fire, and although they were not able to save the building, they are credited with saving the surrounding properties. And whereas, as time went on, the company continued to expand. In 1926, the department added 2 more companies and an additional firehouse on the east side of the village. With this expansion, the fire department added their first motorized apparatus, a 1926 Ford Model T chemical cart. In 1939, the department added a 3rd firehouse, which sits where the current firehouse is located. And whereas today, the fire department continues to serve and protect the 600 residents. In September of 2001, the fire department received their most devastating call, an explosion at the local propane distribution plant. The department was effective in controlling the fire and preventing it from spreading and injuring the hamlet of Mumford and its residents. And whereas, as the fire department celebrates its 125 years of saving lives and protecting our community, the Mumford community and Monroe County are thankful for their bravery, service, and skill. Now, therefore, we, Maggie Brooks, County Executive, and Jeffrey R. Adair, President, on behalf of the entire Monroe County Legislature, do hereby recognize and congratulate the Mumford Volunteer Fire Department for their dedicated service to the safety and security of our community for over 125 years. Congratulations.
We'd just like to thank the legislature for your recognition of our 125th anniversary. We're thankful for the legislature as well for providing community service. That's the business we're in, and the legislature provided that service as well. So thank you for representing us tonight, and we appreciate it. Thank you.
Would Eric Mallory please come forward? Also President Jeffrey R. Adair and Legislator Carmen F. Gamina. On behalf of the entire Monroe County Legislature, we, Jeffrey R. Adair, President, and Carmen F. Camino, Legislator, District 8, do hereby present the Certificate of Recognition to Eric Mallory for winning the state championship in cross-country skiing. Eric is the first Webster student to ever win a state championship in skiing. He has also been awarded a Section 5 Sportsmanship Award. Monroe County is pleased to have such a talented resident with such a bright future. Eric is a role model for young athletes and for our community as a whole. Congratulations.
Thank you, I guess, so much. It's put in a lot of hard work, and it finally paid off. I've been skiing for longer than I can remember. This is just a great way to end my high school season. Thank you.
Would the East High School girls varsity basketball team please come forward? Also, President Jeffrey R. Adair and legislators Carrie M. Andrews, Glenn J. Gamble, Paul E. Haney, and Mike Patterson. Whereas on March 17, 2012, at Hudson Valley Community College, the East High School girls varsity basketball team, led by Coach Mario Velasquez, became the first girls basketball team in the Rochester City School District to make it to the state championship and win the title. And whereas, having to overcome a tough 1-3 start to their season, the Orientals rallied around one another, working hard, and went on to a historical 20-game win streak. In early March, they beat one of their local rivals, Mendon, 51-48, for their first ever Class A Section 5 title, which was the first sectional title for a girls basketball team in a city school in 16 years. And whereas the Orientals took on Section 6's Grand Island in the quarterfinals and won 59-54, and then beat Section 11's John Glenn 66-48 in the semifinals. The team used the confidence they gained in those victories to defeat Section 2's Avril Park Warriors 43-35 in the New York State Public High School Athletic Association Championship game. The team's hard work, chemistry, discipline, and determination earned them an incredible 21-4 season record. And whereas the East High School varsity girls basketball team has achieved athletic excellence and exhibited sportsmanship, great heart, and exemplary teamwork. Now, therefore, let it be known that we, Jeffrey R. Adair, President, Carrie M. Andrews, Assistant Democratic Leader, Glenn J. Gamble, Legislator, District 22, Paul E. Haney, Legislator, District 23, and Mike Patterson, Legislator, District 29, on behalf of the entire Monroe County Legislature, on this day, April 17, 2012, do hereby honor the East High School girls varsity basketball team for their incredible season and for being crowned the girls varsity basketball Class A state champions. Congratulations.
On behalf of the East High family, I'd like to thank the county legislation for recognizing our accomplishments this year. Thanks.
Would Dr. Christopher Berry please come forward? Also, President Jeffrey R. Adair and legislators Joshua Baroth, Justin Wilcox, and John Lightfoot. Whereas organ donors are true modern-day heroes that selflessly put themselves on the line for the betterment of those around them. A single organ donor can save up to 8 people's lives and dramatically improve the lives of up to 50 people through tissue donation. Donors and recipients do not need to be a perfect match, and thanks to modern medicine, age, health, and pre-existing conditions do not immediately preclude someone from being a potential donor. And whereas there are some very tough statistics that advocates and patients are faced with, there are nearly 113,000 people waiting for an organ transplant in the United States, 10,000 of which are citizens of New York State. Tragically, 18 people die every day while awaiting a transplant. Thankfully, the University of Rochester Center for Transplantation and area organizations have been working diligently to raise awareness, sign up more people to be donors, and raise money to support patients and their families. And whereas since 1966, the Transplant Center has performed thousands of successful kidney, liver, pancreas, heart, tissue, and cornea transplants, Strong Memorial Hospital also takes on the daunting task of assisting patients before, during, and after a transplant. The costs and responsibilities associated with treatment can be crippling to patients and their families, which is why the Rochester River Run and Walk was established in 2002 to raise money for patient treatment and care. And whereas the real praise still lies with transplant patients, donors, their families, and caretakers, the strength, courage, dedication, patience, resolve, and selflessness that they display is a constant inspiration to the entire community. Now, therefore, let it be known that we, Jeffrey R. Adair, President, Joshua Baroth, Legislator District 24, Justin Wilcox, Legislator District 14, and John Lightfoot, Legislator District 25, on behalf of the entire Monroe County Legislature, do hereby honor the University of Rochester Center for Transplantation, transplant patients, organ donors, their families, and caretakers in Monroe County for their efforts to raise awareness of the extreme importance of organ donation and for their incredible courage in the face of daunting adversity. Congratulations.
Thank you to the Monroe County Legislature for this proclamation. On behalf of the University of Rochester Center for Transplantation, Finger Lakes Donor Recovery Network, BeLifeNewYork.org, and most importantly, the families of the donors themselves, and the recipients. That's who we're really celebrating today. Organ donation and transplantation is one of the greatest successes of modern medicine. And as a result of that, we have a big problem on our hands, the organ donor shortage. So I encourage you, all of you, to thoughtfully consider becoming an organ donor and go to the New York State Department of Health website if you want to sign up. Thank you.
We will now recess for the purpose of holding public hearings. I declare open the public hearing on resolution intro number 78 of 2012, entitled Improving Increase and Improvements of Facilities in the Rochester Pure Water District, Frank E. Van Laird, Aeration System Improvements.
There are no speakers registered for this hearing.
There being none, I declare this public hearing closed. I declare open the public hearing of resolution intro number 81 of 2012, entitled Improved Increases and Improvements of Facilities in the Rochester Pure Water District, the Frank E. Van Laird Primary Tank Improvements.
There are no speakers registered for this hearing.
There being none, I declare this public hearing closed. I declare open the public hearing on resolution intro number 84 of 2012, entitled Improving Increase and Improvements of Facilities in the Rochester Pure Waters District, Combined Sewer Overflow Abatement Program, Tunnel System Improvements.
There are no speakers registered for this hearing.
There being none, I declare this public hearing closed. I declare open the public hearing on resolution number intro number 87 of 2012, entitled Improving Increase and Improvement of Facilities in the Irondequoit Bay South Central Pure Waters District, General Pump Station and Interceptor Improvements.
And there are no speakers registered for this hearing.
There being none, I declare this public hearing closed. I declare open the public hearing on resolution intro number 90 of 2012, entitled Improving Increase and Improvements of Facilities in the Irondequoit Bay South Central Pure Waters District, South Central Trunk Sewer Improvements.
There are no speakers registered for this hearing.
There being none, I declare this public hearing closed. I declare open the public hearing on a resolution intro number 93 of 2012, entitled Improving Increase and Improvements of Facilities in the Northwest Quadrant Pure Waters District, General Pump Station and Interceptor Improvements.
There are no speakers registered for this hearing.
There being none, I declare this public hearing closed. I declare open the public hearing on resolution intro number 96 of 2012, entitled Improving Increase and Improvements of Facilities in the Northwest Quadrant Pure Waters District, Northwest Quadrant Secondary Clarifier Improvements.
There are no speakers registered for this hearing.
There being none, I declare this public hearing closed. I declare open the public hearing on resolution intro number 99 of 2012, entitled Improving Increase and Improvements of Facilities in the Northwest Quadrant Pure Waters District for the acquisition of a local sewer system from the Eastman Kodak Company.
There are no speakers registered for this hearing.
There being none, I declare this public hearing closed. I declare open the public hearing on resolution intro 102 of 2012, entitled Improving, Increasing, and Improvement of the Facilities of the Gates, Chili, Ogden Sewer District, General Collection System Improvements.
There are no speakers registered for this hearing.
There being none, I declare this public hearing closed. I declare open the public hearing on the resolution intro number 105 of 2012, entitled Improving, Increase, and Improvements of Facilities in the Gates, Chili, Ogden Sewer District, Central Pump Station Improvements.
And there are no speakers registered for this hearing.
There being none, I declare this public hearing closed. I declare open a public hearing on resolution intro number 110 of 2012, entitled Consenting to an Assignment and Modification of the Ground Lease at the Greater Rochester International Airport with the United States Postal Service to Westover Car Rental, LLC, doing business as Thrifty Car Rental.
And there are no speakers registered for this hearing.
There being none, I declare this public hearing closed. I declare the public hearings now closed, and we will convene to the April 17, 2012 meeting of the Monroe County Legislature. This time there are no formal committee reports scheduled for this evening. We will now hold public forum. We have several people registered to address the legislature. Mrs. Rossi.
If you require assistance, a deputy will assist you in approaching the lectern. Please come forward and state your name and be prepared to address the legislature when your name is called. Each speaker will have 2 minutes, and we ask that you conclude your remarks when the timer sounds, and we thank you for your cooperation. Our first speaker will be Ken Matheson.
My name is Ken Matheson. I'm here representing Shooters Committee on Political Education, commonly known as SCOPE, and I also represent the gun owners of Rochester and Monroe County. For some reason, in I believe 1983, I haven't been able to find out what the reason was, the legislature changed county law prohibiting all firearms in county parks, and we don't know what the reason was, but we've been trying to change that since that time. There's a number of reasons why we'd like to have it changed. First of all, there's no reason for it to be the way it is. President Obama recently, or in his first term, signed legislation allowing concealed carries in the national parks. We should have the same privileges in our county parks. Interestingly enough, there is no law prohibiting concealed carry in this building, but we can't carry concealed in the parks. Additionally, pistol permit owners or carriers have been investigated and fully vetted by the state and federal agencies to be law-abiding citizens. There's no reason why we should not be able to carry our firearms concealed in the county parks. Many areas of our county parks are wild and not patrolled on a regular basis, so there are dangers in the park, so we should be able to protect ourselves. We request that this legislature introduce and pass legislation to allow concealed carry in the county parks. That's basically all I have to say tonight. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Roy Adams. Roy Adams. Our next speaker will be Carlos Cerez.
Hello, everyone. My name is Carlos Suarez, and I'm an MCC student. And I'm towards the end of my freshman year. And I'm here today to exactly advocate for the transition over to the Kodak building, the DCC building currently located over here at the Sibley building. Therefore, I stand before you now to emphasize that we need more safety, more usable green space, more bus shuttles, and a space that we can call our own as opposed to 2 floors in a building that we're just leasing. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Sharon Jones.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me. I'm Sharon Jones. I serve as Vice President of Student Governance for Damon City Campus. We, Student Events and Governance Association, better known as SEGA, would like your support in moving the current Damon City Campus to what is currently known as the Eastman Kodak Company at State Street and Maury Silver Way. SEGA unanimously passed a resolution on 12/16/11 supporting this initiative. Within this resolution are some key points that we would like to refresh your awareness while highlighting our vision for Damon City Campus. Balancing needs and interests of students, taxpayers, and local employers that rely on the benefit from the college. As he already mentioned, personal safety, an increased demand for expanded facility and services, some of which include parking, a cafeteria, auditorium, recreation, wellness, technology, child care on site, veteran services, and of course, greater accessibility for students with disabilities. Long story short, Damon City Campus plus Brighton Campus equals one Monroe Community College. And the bottom line is what we're requesting from you tonight is access to high quality education, which means equality. Thank you so much.
Our next speaker is Kevin Robinson.
Good evening. I got a couple of questions for you guys, actually. One is regarding our right to vote. I called this building, as a matter of fact, I came to this building a few months back asking for maybe about a couple hundred voter registration cards. I was given, I was told that they were redoing the cards and they can't give me any but a handful. They gave me about 20. I said, okay, fine. Can I have it when they get ready? They said, fine. I left a number, and I didn't get any call. I called today. 2 months later, woman says, oh, well, we don't do that. Well, the fact is, this is this house. We have a right to vote. We were getting ready to do a voter registration because, what is it, Romney told Obama, you better pack? Well, some of y'all better pack because there's no other way around it. We got a broken DSS office. We got lines still long. We got parking. There's no parking over at Westfall, over at St. Paul. Actually, Westfall is actually a good place to go. There's nobody in there. I think some of you guys, and ladies too, need to go there with a pair of jeans, T-shirt, a hoodie, and go through what we go through every day just to get services. I don't think everyone says, well, there's nothing wrong with DSS. Some of the workers are overworked, but hell, we like the ones that are working there to work. It would be helpful. So the only thing I'm telling you is go through what we go through, give us what we want. We just want what's ours. That's the human being. That's all.
Our next speaker is Sister Grace Miller.
First of all, we wanted to thank all the legislators that came to the House of Mercy and put on this fantastic pasta dinner. We thank you. It was delicious. Our people enjoyed it. And we wanted to thank Willie Lightfoot and all for the haircuts. Our people felt wonderful. So thank you. Oh, you'll be getting thank you letters as soon as we get them written. At the last Human Services Committee meeting, Frank Iacovangelo from the Public Administrator's Office was invited to attend because of the Sally Green's case. And you all know Sally Green was buried in a cardboard box in the worst cemetery in Scottsville, what we call Pottersfield. And the family never found out until 10 days after she had died, that she had died. And we're still upset about this. But apparently, Mr. Iacovangelo was invited but didn't come, was told he didn't have to come. It's very interesting that Iacovangelo can cause so much pain and suffering to Sally Green's family and to the poor community, yet be excused from answering the questions about the conduct of his office. Maggie Brooks told us at a meeting that the county had nothing to do with the public administrator's office. Yet the very next day in the newspaper, the DNC, it was disclosed that in the last 5 years, Iacovangelo has donated nearly $24,000 to local Republicans and an additional $161,700 to local Republican groups. And 2 years ago, county legislators voted along party lines to more than double the stipend given to Iacovangelo's office for the operation of his office, and it was given from $48,000 to $100,000. He asked for $48,000, he got $100,000. Yet we were told that Monroe County had nothing to do with the public administrator's office. So in essence, you spared Mr. Iacovangelo from being questioned at the Human Services Committee. You gave lavishly to the public administrator's office. We're asking you now to spare our poor people from the terrible cost of almost $3,000 to be buried rather than cremated. Save them from the anguish of what they say, burning their loved ones. They cannot do it. And yet they are being forced to be cremated because of your legislation or your policy. Citizens for a Dignified Burial were promised a meeting with officials from the county. This was back in February. It's now April. We have not met yet. And there was a promise made to us. We're telling you tonight, we're not waiting much longer. Either the meeting will be held or you can finish the rest. It's scandalous that you can put so much money in a rich man's hands and at the same time take money from our poor. This is scandalous, it's unjust, and it is not God's way. So you have much soul searching to do, and we'll be waiting for that meeting that was promised us, but we're not waiting too much longer.
Our next speaker is James Rampersham.
Hello, good night. You know, my name is James Rampersham, and my topic tonight is about the dead. You know, the dead, that means that when you're alive, you have to be scared of a person. But when you die, that's it. You're cut off. So that's human dignity. And in order, when you die, you don't know who is there. And it's just spiritually, you know. And I think we should have the burial issue confronted tonight, because we have to bury people. I think we should have the $3,000 that we need to bury the people, you know. And I sympathize with Sister Grace. That was I think this was 2006. Sister Rita talked about it. You know, I remember that speech. So, you know, I think we should. This is election year, and the votes are coming up. So people want to get in office, and you have Republicans and Democrats voting. And I would like to sympathize with the Democrat. Send Louise Slaughter a postcard. She's in the hospital at Rochester at Strong Hospital. I am going out to see her. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Chris Safuto.
Oops. Hello, everybody. Good evening. As you know, I'm Chris Safuto. I'm from CSEA, and I've been coming before this legislative body for over 3 years. My fellow members and I have said each time that we are at odds with the administration over negotiations and have requested your input as legislators to help us solve this situation and get both parties to the table and negotiate in good faith. As of today, we have heard from the Democratic side of the legislatures. However, as I stand here tonight, we have yet to hear from the Republican legislators in regards to these concerns about these issues. I'm very concerned that the Republican legislature body does not care about the issues confronting the public workforce. It also makes me think these legislators feel the problems are not deserving of their time or your attention. We've been surveying our members and dealing with the county's exact proposals. Many of our members' response is that they are underappreciated and even neglected by the lack of compassion for the high quality of work they've done and continue to do. Therefore, I'm asking one more time for input from the county legislatures on these issues. Our members want real action, not rhetoric. We will continue to attend this meeting and record the actions of the legislators on these issues. And I must remind you that Monroe County works because we do. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Tom Gregory.
I'm not a lawyer, but my understanding of the alternative county government law, as well as perhaps the charter, I haven't looked at the charter close enough, is that this legislative body is precluded. You can't engage in negotiations. That particular job is assigned to the county administration. In other words, by law, you can't really have a voice in this. You can make policy, but you can't engage in that type of stuff. I'm here to speak tonight on a different topic, though, regarding an editorial that appeared in the Gannett newspapers talking about the Republican primary, and now that the issue has been set, or it's a done deal, that our primary is too expensive a thing to have. I've been an election inspector for 13 years now, I think maybe 15. You lose track as you get older. And I'll tell you something right now. Primary is an important thing. I can't say this to people when they come to my election district, but I'll tell you what, any person in this room and any person I talk to, I always recommend to them that they join a party. And the reason why I recommend that they join a party is because by party affiliation, what ends up happening, your vote in that primary election has got more push for pound or whatever. It has more effect than any other vote you're going to have during the election cycle. But the bottom line is, our primary, at least on the Republican side, and everyone knows we get a lot of bad press, it's our way of listening to our constituency. I have my message here. I have a phone call from the Ron Paul people, basically telling why that candidate should be our representative. And of course, one thing is that during an election or during a primary election, we get an opportunity as Republicans, and I'm only speaking for the Republicans because I am one, and we get a chance to listen to the members of our party. A lot of times people look at our party and they think that we're like the rich people and we don't have any feelings. You hear that, you get that sense from listening to a lot of other speakers behind this podium. But the bottom line is, if there ever was a party that deserved the slogan, think locally or think globally and act locally, it would be our party. One of the things that we try to do is we try to listen to people, the people who are important to us, and that would be local people. And I think that issue can't be any more clearly shown than in the recent article by Gannett newspapers, where the county executive running for Congress was basically criticized because she won't take on national issues. I would say this, I can't speak for County Executive Brooks, but I can speak for Republicans. It's important to us that we take on local issues. National issues are big, but we have an opportunity to represent you. I believe that's what we do, and I think we do it well. And that's about all I have to say. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Rita Lewis.
Tonight, I'm requesting that you take steps to ensure that poor people have access to burial and are not forced into doing cremations, especially when burial is what the family wants. There is money available if you say so. It really is that simple. It is what you want to spend the money on that counts. So I am requesting that you do provide the funds that are necessary to provide burial and not force cremation for the poor. demand that you stop using Owatka Cemetery, the Potter's Field, for the poor. There are other cemeteries closer to the city, in the city, and it is not necessary to use Owatka's Potter Field for the poor. So stop doing it. The other issue is the long lines at St. Paul Street. We hear it over and over again. I've seen the lines out the door. Please take steps to correct this. If it means hiring additional people to take care of the people in a more quick and reasonable fashion, whatever it takes, please take the steps that are necessary to provide for the people who are hurting the most in our community. Thank you.
Our last speaker is Chris Eads.
Hello. It's kind of fitting that Ken started off this session. I am Chris Eads. I am the chairman of the Monroe County Shooters Committee on Political Education, also known as SCOPE. I'm basically going to reiterate what Ken said. I mean, concealed carry permit holders go through every background check known to man. They go through mental health checks. Even sealed records are unsealed. They are the most law-abiding citizens that exist in New York State. And there is no reason that they cannot carry concealed weapons in county parks. I mean, if that was a problem, then we would have a problem with people carrying concealed, walking by your houses where your children are playing. And if that's not a problem, then carrying concealed in the county park should not be a problem either. It just doesn't make sense. Thank you.
This concludes our public forum.
At this time, we'll recess the April 17, 2012 meeting of the Monroe County Legislature for the purpose of convening the Pure Waters Administration Board for the Arundecoyt Bay South Central Pure Waters District. The clerk will please note the attendance and read the item on the agenda.
PWAB 1, referral 12-0129.
Moved by Legislator Holland, second by Legislator Yolovich. Is there any discussion on this? This is a motion to adopt. Hearing no discussion, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The item carries. We will now recess the Arundecoyt Bay South Central Pure Waters District and adjourn the Pure Waters Administration Board. The April 17, 2012 meeting of the Legislature is reconvened. We will now proceed with the considerations of local law. Will the clerk please read the first item on the agenda?
Item number 1, referral 12-113, a local law.
Moved by Legislator Boyce, second by Legislator McCann. This is for introductory purposes only. Next item.
Item number 2, referral 12-113.
Moved by Legislator Boyce, second by Legislator McCann. This is the motion to table. All in favor? Any opposed? The item carries.
Item number 3, referral 12-113.
Moved by Legislator Boyce, second by Legislator McCann. This is the motion to set the public hearing. All in favor? Any opposed? The item carries. We will now continue with the considerations of motions, resolutions, and notices. Will the clerk please read the next item on the agenda?
Item number 4, referral 12-78.
Moved by Legislator Howland, second by Legislator Yolovich. This is to lift from the table. All in favor? Any opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 5, referral 12-78.
Moved by Legislator Howland, second by Legislator Yolovich. This is to be adopted. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 6, referral 12-78BR.
Moved by Legislator Howland, second by Legislator Yolovich. This is to be adopted. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 7, referral 12-80.
Moved by legislator Holland, second by legislator Yolovich. This is to lift from the table. All in favor? Any opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 8, referral 12-80, providing that...
Moved by legislator Holland, second by legislator Yolovich. This is to be adopted. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 9, referral 12-80BR.
Moved by legislator Holland, second by legislator Yolovich. This is to be adopted. All in favor? Any opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 10, referral 12-82.
This is moved by legislator Holland and is seconded by legislator Yolovich. This is to lift from the table. All in favor? Any opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 11, referral 12-82.
Moved by legislator Holland, seconded by legislator Yolovich. This is to be adopted. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Any opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 12, referral 12-82BR.
Moved by legislator Holland, seconded by legislator Yolovich. This is to be adopted. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 13, referral 12-84.
Moved by legislator Holland, seconded by legislator Yolovich. This is to lift from the table. All in favor? Any opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 14, referral 12-84.
Moved by legislator Holland, seconded by legislator Yolovich. This is to be adopted. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 15, referral 12-84BR.
Moved by legislator Holland, seconded by legislator Yolovich. This is to be adopted. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 16, referral 12-86.
Moved by legislator Holland, seconded by legislator Yolovich. This is to lift from the table. All in favor? Any opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 17, referral 12-86.
Moved by legislator Holland, seconded by legislator Yolovich. This is to be adopted. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 18, referral 12-86.
Moved by legislator Holland, seconded by legislator Yolovich. This is to be adopted. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Any opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 19, referral 12-88.
Moved by legislator Holland, seconded by legislator Yolovich. This is to lift from the table. All in the favor? Any opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 20, referral 12-88.
Moved by legislator Holland, seconded by legislator Yolovich. This is to be adopted. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 21, referral 12-88BR.
Moved by legislator Holland, seconded by legislator Yolovich. This is to be adopted. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Any opposed? The item carries.
Item number 22, referral 12-90.
Moved by legislator Holland, seconded by legislator Yolovich. This is to be lifted from the table. All in favor? Opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 23, referral 12-90, providing that.
Moved by legislator Holland, seconded by legislator Yolovich. This is to be adopted. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries.
Item number 24, referral 12-90.
Moved by Legislator Holland, second by Legislator Yolovich. This is to be adopted. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 25, referral 12-92.
It's getting to be a lot. Moved by Legislator Holland, second by Legislator Yolovich. This is to lift from the table. All in favor? Any opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 26, referral 12-92.
Moved by Legislator Holland, second by Legislator Yolovich. This is to be adopted. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Next item. The item carried.
Item number 27, referral 12-94.
Moved by Legislator Howland, second by Legislator Yolovich. This is to lift in favor. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 28, referral 12-94.
Moved by Legislator Howland, second by Legislator Yolovich. This is to be adopted. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 29, referral 12-94.
Legislator Howland, second by Legislator Yolovich. This is to be adopted. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 30, referral 12-96.
Moved by Legislator Howland, second by Legislator Yolovich. This is to lift from the table. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 31, referral 12-96.
Moved by Legislator Howland, second by Legislator Yolovich. This is to adopt. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 32, referral 12-96.
Moved by Legislator Howland, second by Legislator Yolovich. This is to be adopted. Is there any discussion at this time? Legislator Haney.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, we have just adopted 8 and are about to adopt 9 separate bond resolutions related to capital projects in the Pure Waters districts. And we have adopted, and I suspect will soon adopt, the last one unanimously. What I would like to do, Mr. President, is express gratitude for the fact that these 9 separate bond resolutions have in fact been presented to the legislature individually and independently, so that in committee and on the floor, if we chose to, we could independently consider the merits of each of them. And I would like to express the hope that come December, when we see the regular CIP program come before the legislature, that we would follow the same precedent and allow the legislature to consider and vote upon each of the bond resolutions presented at that time individually. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 33, referral 12-100.
Moved by Legislator Howland, second by Legislator Yolovich. This is to lift from the table. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 34, referral 12-100.
It's okay. That was a long way to go. Moved by Legislator Howland, second by Legislator Yolovich. This is to adopt. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing there is none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 35, referral 12-105.
Moved by Legislator Hanna, second by Legislator Michike. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The item carries.
Item number 36, referral 12-106, appointment to Cornell Cooperative.
Moved by legislator Valerio, second by legislator Draw. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries.
Item number 37, referral 12-114, accepting grant from New York.
Moved by legislator Hannah, second by legislator Yolovich. Is there any discussion at this time? Legislator Esposito.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to, through you, thank the administration for the information they provided in follow-up to the Ways and Means Committee. I'm certainly in favor of accepting the grant for this program, but I found some of the information that was followed up to be interesting with regards to the fact that this grant does not help pay for incidents in which county judges can waive the cost to someone to pay for the devices to be installed in their car, and also surprised by the fact that Monroe County is by far the largest number of waived cases in New York State. I just was curious, one of the comments mentions that if these waivers exceed 10% of all installations, vendors will likely raise the costs on those who are paying. And I was curious to know through you, Mr. President, the administration, if that is some kind of policy or is that some kind of industry practice in which that might happen.
Through the President, Bob Burns from the Office of Probation. I believe that was discussed when the New York State DCJS developed regulations and rules and regulations for vendors to follow, and they tried to establish a fair and equitable manner in which to allow those who are unable to pay to have ignition interlock installed on their vehicles without undue hardship on the vendors. So I believe that was, while perhaps not written in law, that was clearly conveyed to counties that if these waiver cases were too high, the overall costs would increase.
Thank you. I appreciate that answer, and that certainly makes sense. The number in Monroe County, while higher than the rest of the state, is nowhere near that 10% number. Have we ever received, through you, Mr. President, to anyone in the administration that would know, complaints from vendors that are forced to take on these unreimbursed costs?
Through the President, we received reports from the regulatory agency in Albany just highlighting, as they do with a variety of reports, any stats that look different from the rest of the state. I've not heard from any vendors, and I don't think any judges have heard from vendors either.
Thank you. And through you, Mr. President, to the administration, could you elaborate perhaps on what you mean when you say the state urges judges to limit the number of waivers and that the county is working with local judges to reduce the number? Just give me a sense for what efforts are taken here in Monroe County where we seem to have a higher incidence.
Through the President, when this is part of Leandra's law, the lesser-known part of Leandra's law, if you will. When passed, there was some concern that the defendant's inability to pay would be in some way connected to a poverty rate or the fact that they may have an appointed counsel or public defender. And the state tried to clarify that whether or not you can pay for ignition interlock had to do with all of your expenses beyond those which are generally used to determine indigent defense. So it's been a topic in New York State and the other states that have ignition interlock just to try to keep costs down.
All right. Thank you very much. As I said, I'm in favor of this referral and certainly understand there are situations where defendants are not able to pay these, but any kind of expense forced on a business by government and not paid for is obviously somewhat troublesome. I'd encourage the efforts being done by the county and the state to help judges make fewer of those decisions and ultimately hopefully help vendors who have to pay for these costs without reimbursement. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries.
Item number 38, referral 12-115, accepting grant from New York State.
Moved by legislator Hannah, second by legislator Yolovich. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries.
Item number 39, referral 12-116, accepting grant from New York State Division.
Moved by legislator Hannah, second by legislator Yolovich. Is there any discussion at this time? Being none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries.
Item number 40, referral 12-117.
Moved by legislator Boyce, second by legislator Yolovich. Is there any discussion at this time? Legislator Rocco. Okay, thank you. Is there any other discussion at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 41, referral 12-118, authorizing contracts.
Moved by legislator Tucciarello, second by legislator Yolovich. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 42, referral 12-119, authorizing.
Moved by legislator Colby, second by legislator Yolovich. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries.
Item number 43, referral 12-120.
Moved by legislator Antelli, second by legislator Yolovich. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries.
Item number 44, referral 12-121.
Moved by legislator Valerio, second by legislator Yolovich. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 45, referral 12-122, authorizing acquisition.
Moved by legislator Colby, second by legislator Yolovich. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 46, referral 12-123, accepting grant.
Moved by legislator Draw, second by legislator Yolovich. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 47, referral 12-124, accepting grant.
Moved by legislator Draw, second by legislator Yolovich. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 48, referral 12-125, accepting grant.
Moved by legislator Draw, second by legislator Yolovich. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 49, referral 12-126.
Moved by legislator Howland, second by legislator Yolovich. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 50, referral 12-127.
Moved by legislator Howland, second by legislator Yolovich. Is there any discussion at this time? Legislator Howland.
Mr. President, I believe President Kress from the community college is here and can respond to that question.
Through the President, there will be one classroom that will be freed up by the removal of public safety from the integrated Brighton campus to Building 21. And it's a classroom that's of significant size. It will be turned into a biology laboratory.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there any other discussion at this time? Legislator Broth.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Through the President, actually to Dr. Kress, I'm serve on the environmental Public Works Committee and voted against this referral several weeks ago, and I'm very appreciative of the fact that there was a lot of communication and outreach since that time, and I'd like to publicly acknowledge that and give my wholehearted support for this particular referral, and thank you very much for your interest and attention to detail. It's very much appreciated. Thank you. Through the President.
Through the President, thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion at this time? Legislator O'Brien.
Thank you, Mr. President. I kind of want to echo Legislator Baroth's comments. There was, of course, as you know, some rather spirited discussion at both Environment and Public Works and Ways and Means Committee as it came through, and that process led to some questions. And I want to commend the administration at the community college for follow-up both with written detail, but also the personal reach out of both David Moore in their security area and Dr. Kress herself, who provided invaluable input. And I want you to know that we're very appreciative of that.
Through the President, thank you so much, Legislator.
Is there any other discussion at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 51, referral 12-128.
Moved by Legislator Gamina, seconded by Legislator Howland and Yolovich. Is there any discussion at this time? Legislator Baroth.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you to the administration, at the committee meeting several weeks ago, I asked for a copy of the environment assessment form and was informed in an email today, approximately 2 o'clock, that it would be available to me if I wished in the clerk's office. And my question is, how large or is this form that needs to be made available only in the clerk's office? Is it a couple pages, a pamphlet? I'm curious why it could not be made available before this full legislative meeting. Through the President.
Through you, Mr. President, it's a rather lengthy document, at least about 100 pages.
Through the President. Thank you very much. I was hoping that would be the case. Thank you.
Okay. I don't know. Is there any other discussion at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 52, referral 12-130.
Moved by Legislator Howland, second by Legislator Yolovich. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 53, referral 12-131.
Moved by Legislator Yolovich, second by Legislator Gamina. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 54, referral 12-132, directing.
Moved by Legislator Yolovich, second by Legislator Gamina. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 55, referral 12-133.
Moved by Legislator Howland, second by Legislator Ansello. Is there any discussion at this time? Legislator O'Brien.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just briefly, I wanted to direct a compliment to the administration and express our appreciation for the nature of the search that was done as we sought to retain a new director of aviation at the airport. My understanding is there are literally dozens and dozens of applicants, and I think that's the way a search should be done, with great outreach and a large pool of potential applicants. And I have great confidence that the result of that process has been hiring of really a superior director of aviation, and we look forward very much to working with him. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Is there any opposed? Congratulations, you've just been appointed. Right? I always like that pause between them. I just like to do that. Next item.
Item number 56, referral 12-134, approving.
Moved by legislator Yolovich, second by legislator Gamina. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 57, referral 12-135, accepting grant.
Moved by legislator Hanna, second by legislator Yolovich. Is there any discussion at this time? Legislator Boyce.
Through the President, if I could have a description of this particular grant that we're accepting.
Through you, Mr. President, this grant funds, in our office, for the District Attorney's Office, it funds three assistant district attorneys and a criminal law assistant, portions of their salaries.
Through the President, can you be more specific as to what they're going to be prosecuting, sir?
Oh, sure. Yes, through the
Thank
President. The assistant district attorneys assigned to the CARP grant prosecute crimes that are committed that take revenue from the state. For instance, people who cheat on income returns, who owe money on sales tax, Department of Labor, unemployment insurance, and New York State insurance fund fraud.
Okay, so through the President, who will you be working with, the Monroe County Sheriff's Department as well as the state police, or all local law enforcement agencies?
Primarily, our ADAs assigned to this program work with the Department of Tax and Finance in Albany and local law enforcement as cases come in and are assigned to them.
At this point, through the President, can you give me a kind of a ballpark figure of what we're looking at as far as prosecution and what we think we are going to reap from this particular grant?
Yeah. Through the President, last year in 2011, in terms of sales tax restitutions collected through CARP prosecutions, we brought in about $193,000. New York State income tax restitutions totaled $142,000. Department of Labor unemployment insurance funds restitutions were $186,000, and New York State insurance fund fraud restitutions were $23,000.
And through the President, do you see accepting this grant that will be even more efforts to with regards to these crimes, sir?
Through the President, actually last year when we had this grant, it was for the same amount of funds, but we expended it over a 15-month period of time. This year we have the same amount of funds to expend over a 12-month period of time, so we're able to put more assistant district attorneys dedicated to these types of cases. Whether we'll see additional restitutions depends on the types of cases that are referred to the office, but we're going to be able to dedicate additional staff.
Thank you. Just one further question. Through the President, would this also include any crimes with regards to fraud in the areas of Department of Human Services?
Through the President, my understanding is the CARP prosecutors do prosecute cases that involve welfare fraud, for instance, but we have not been able to collect restitution from any of those cases.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 58, referral 12-136.
Moved by legislator Howland, second by legislator Yolovich. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Any opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 59, referral 12-136BR.
Moved by legislator Colby, second by legislator Yolovich. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries. Next item.
Item number 60, referral 12-137, amend resolution.
Moved by legislators Draw, Howland, and Yolovich. Moved by legislator Draw, seconded by legislator Howland, seconded by legislator Yolovich. Is there any other discussion at this time? And legislator Esposito, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would just like to ask to you or through you why this is being submitted as a matter of urgency.
Through you, Mr. President, as you can see, this grant it has already ended, and we have, I believe, 60 days to submit claims. And so the sooner that we're able to process the claims and submit them, the more total dollars we're able to bring into the county.
Thank you. And through you, Mr. President, was there a reason that the acceptance or the grant didn't come through until the program has already ended?
Through you, Mr. President, the state apparently moves money around from county to county depending on how much spending is going on. And unfortunately, this was quite a late communication to us, but we've seen this happen in the past. And in the best of all worlds, we would see these grant awards come to us several months before the end of the grant.
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion at this time? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries. Is there any unfinished business to come before this body tonight? Legislator Haney.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, on September 29th last, about 6.5 months ago, I sent a letter to the county executive asking for some documentation regarding Upstate Telecommunications, UDC, and I've not had neither an acknowledgement or any response to this letter. I inquired about it at Ways and Means, and there was nobody at Ways and Means that had been assigned responsibility for it, so understandably they couldn't answer my question. My question is when I can expect a response to the letter, especially now that Upstate Telecommunications has reported that it has fully complied with the similar request for information from the State Attorney General's office. So my inquiry, Mr. President, is when I might expect a response to my letter of September 29th of last year.
Thank you. You did bring it up at Ways and Means.
Mr. President, as Legislator Haney had mentioned, this request was made at the Ways and Means Committee and prepared to offer a status update at that committee meeting, which I believe is next week or the week thereafter.
Will I get a response through the chair? Will I get a response to my letter at the Ways and Means Committee?
Mr. President, we will provide a status update. I can't give any guarantees that every single question will be responded to at that time, but we will have a status update.
Through the chair, I do realize the letter was lengthy. I would hope that at a minimum that the copies of the minutes of UTC would, for the appropriate dates back a few years ago, at least would be provided, since minutes should be, at least I would hope, would be relatively available. But I'll keenly await whatever information I receive at Ways and Means. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Is there any other unfinished business tonight? Seeing none, there being no more unfinished business, Mr. Daniele.
Yes, this legislative body will stand adjourned until 6 p.m. on Tuesday, May 8th, 2012, the big new gavel, old gavel.